Thank you for doing this, man.
Always, like I've been looking forward to it. My friends in New York have been following your podcast, and
Really?
yeah, I mean, they follow you on Facebook, they follow you on Instagram, and you've been posting your links over there, and they've been watching it. So when I told them that I was gonna come to Ohio to see you, they were like, "Are you gonna be in his podcast?" I'm like, to be honest, he has not asked me yet. Thank you for asking me. Thank you for having me over. It's a pleasure to be here, and looking forward to this.
Of course, you're one of the most interesting friends that I have. Out of all my friends, your intellectual capacity is awesome. I like it. I get to learn a lot of things from you, and that's why it was a must to have you on my show, especially in person. And since you're visiting me in Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you're just being gracious enough and saying that, I bring so much to the table, but we have known each other for 12 years and our stories go back like 12 years. So let's not say that, I have more intellectual capacity or something. We have been through a lot and you're just being humble over here. Thank you again.
So, living in New York, what's your favorite cuisine?
Let's see. Now, it's a good question because that depends upon what I'm gonna do. So if I want to impress someone, I know this spot which has good omakase, but it is not expensive enough to put a hole in my pocket. So this is called Yasaka Sushi. It's on 72nd Street, and they have this mini omakase for like $50. So if you go to a nice restaurant, they're gonna cost you like 100, 120, 150. So I love sushi, I love omakase, and Yasaka gives me the best price to taste ratio.
So, how do you know the other person would like Japanese food?
So I
If,
do.
if it was me, and if you're taking me on a first date to a Japanese restaurant, I would straight away reject you.
Really?
Yeah.
So there are some basic rules, right? Like when you go to a restaurant for a first date, you want to order something that is not gonna create a mess. Like you don't want to order a cheeseburger and eat it with your hands because you're gonna have mustard on your. I don't think I take mustard, but people take mustard on their burger. You might have some mustard on your lips, or you might have some dripping sauce on your shirt. You want to have something that's classy that shows you can use chopsticks. I have learned that if you can't use chopstick and you ask for a fork at an Asian restaurant, that's a no-no. So, I'm putting some good strides forward. Like I can use chopsticks. I am eating clean. I'm not, doing anything that's not supposed to be accepted.
Can you drink soup with a chopstick?
When you say soup, if there's a wonton soup, I
Yeah,
can eat
like
wontons with the soup or a small piece of carrot in the soup, yes. But liquid, no. I just gulp it, man.
I prefer fork.
You prefer fork?
Yeah. Although I can eat with chopsticks, but it's just going to take me 2 hours to finish the whole dish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I know the proper concept of how to use chopstick. Like I have seen actual people, who grew up with using chopsticks, how they use it. It's like a pencil. It's a makeshift thing for me, but it's good enough that I can eat rice with chopsticks.
My favorite cuisine, I think, is Mediterranean food
Nice.
because it's kind of very similar to Indian food.
Uh-huh.
I like shawarma. I like hummus, pita.
Okay.
So all of the meat that's cooked in shawarma style.
Uh-huh.
I've tried beef. I've tried chicken.
Uh-huh.
I like both of them. It's good food.
Gotcha. So, you should visit me in New York, and I know this place which was viral on TikTok in 2020. I believe everyone was on TikTok during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So it went completely viral, and they have this shawarma that is for a table of four, but it comes to your table an entire shawarma stick
Nice.
with a load of fries, and you get to cut your own shawarma. You can choose the meat you want, and it's delicious, man. But you need four people. So when are you coming?
Whenever you invite me next.
To all the audiences who are watching this, I have been inviting him since every single year we have been here together, but he never shows up. I have been here twice now, but he has been there only once. He goes to Niagara, like 5 times a year.
Seven. I've been to Niagara 7 times. I've done the Maid of the Mist. So Maid of the Mist is the boat ride, the Cave of the Wind. So you can actually go under the Niagara Falls. They've made a nice ledge. You can walk over it and be under part of the Niagara Falls. You can't completely go under the Niagara because it's too much force.
Correct.
Like the uh, amount of water falling down per second is a lot to for your body to bear. So I don't think you can stand there. But the ledges take you pretty close to the Niagara Falls, so you can go there. It's called the ledges, Cave of the Wind. And then the last time I was at Niagara, I've done the helicopter ride.
Mm-hmm.
It starts from the American side. It takes you over to the Canadian side and brings you over to the Horseshoe Falls, American Falls, and back.
Mm-hmm.
So that was amazing, and I think I've done everything in Niagara now. In the past 7 times I've been there, I'm done with Niagara. I can't go there anymore.
I think what you should note over here is that he had to go 7 times to Niagara to be done with it.
Yeah.
I've been there once and I'm done. I was done with Niagara. So we went to Zion National Park together last July, and I guess a month later I just pinged him for some other reason. And he's like, "Yo, dude, I am just in Niagara in the helicopter ride." I'm like, "Hold on, is it the 5th time?" He goes, "No, it's 7th time." I'm like, "Holy shit, man! Like, you get bored, you just get up and you go to Niagara." I think we should stop it now.
Like I've decided the last time was my end and final time to go to Niagara. I can't go there anymore. My sister actually called me that, hey, I'm coming to visit you. So the last time she was here, I took her to the Niagara Falls, but it was December.
Huh.
So there was no Cave of the Wind or Made of the Mist. So all she could see was from the top.
Mhm.
And now she's like, no, I need to do it again. So I'm like, no, that's not happening. I can't go there anymore.
Gotcha.
Like it.
So tell me one thing. When you go to Niagara, do you stop at Buffalo to do Buffalo pizza?
No, actually, I haven't eaten the buffalo pizza.
Oh, you should. So I like thin crust. Like being from New York, I like thin crust pizza, which gives me, good taste, like on a marinara or something of that sort. Not a fan of deep dish, but Buffalo is the right mix for me personally between thin crust and deep dish. And they have this pepperoni cups, which is filled with grease. And when you have a single bite of that pizza slice, the flavor just oozes out into your mouth. Buffalo pizza, I hate Buffalo. Don't like Buffalo Bills either. New York Giants all the way. But Buffalo pizza is something has become one of my favorites.
So do they have the buffalo sauce?
I didn't have the buffalo sauce pizza. I'm pretty sure they must have it. It's just the thickness as well as the pepperoni cups what classifies it as a buffalo pizza.
I've had deep dish pizza in Chicago because Chicago is known for deep dish pizza, but
Okay.
it was okay. Like it was overhyped, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it too much.
Yeah, like to be honest, for me, deep dish is more like a pie. Like it's not a pizza, you scoop it out, you have to cut into it, it has so many layers to it. It's more like a pie, if you go out and you have a, shepherd's pie or something of that
Yeah,
sort.
and you can only eat one slice.
Correct. It's too heavy, man.
Yeah, it's too heavy. I can't do it more than one. But talking about Zion National Park, that trip was one of the best trips of my life, dude.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I have to thank you for that, for especially for Angel's Landing. Like you know it. I don't think you know it, but I did have a bad bungee experience. So I
Oh, at Rishikesh?
exactly. So like after our 10th exam or 11th exam, 11th board exam, I and a bunch of my friends we went to Rishikesh. We
Yeah.
did the rafting with Pug Marks, which he was a volunteer at. He did a lot of treks back in India, and we went to do bungee. So I think you have done bungee, so you know the concept
Yeah,
of
I've
it,
done
right?
bungee.
Yeah. So
Although I don't think I'll be able to do it again. I think my lower back is a little bit weak.
okay.
So I kind of did it while I was young,
Mhm.
like 15 years younger than what I am today. So it was good, but now that my upper body is a little bit heavier because it puts a lot of pressure on your lower back, and
Mhm.
I don't think I want to take that risk again.
Correct.
It's a very risky move for 5 seconds
Correct.
of bungee.
So you say you're old. Like at 28, you think
No,
you're old.
I'm saying I was 15 years younger. I'm not saying I'm old.
I mean, people watching this show who are in their 30s, they must be like, this guy is bullshit. He calls himself old at 28 when your prime years are yet to come.
So, how was your... So, for those who don't know, Pratik is a graduate. You did your undergrad at VIT.
Yes.
Vishwakarma Institute of
Yeah, the
Technology. in
Pune one, not the Vellore one.
But I know you have the ability to get into IITs, but that's a different chapter. Anyways, so you did your undergrad at VIT,
Yes.
and then you did your masters at Columbia University, which is one of the most prestigious universities in United States or probably the world,
Yes, sir.
because it's an Ivy League. So, can you tell us something what exactly Ivy Leagues are?
So, Ivy Leagues are this set of 8 universities in Northeast. Like they were one of the first founded universities, and they used to play, sports among these 8 universities, and that's how the Ivy came out to be.
I think it was most it was American football that they played.
Okay.
Was it? I think so
I
because
think
I
so.
read about Ivy Leagues and I think it's most of them played American football versus each other and
Mm-hmm.
those were the top tiers
Mm-hmm.
amongst all the universities. Yeah, yeah, go on.
But let's be honest here, Ivy Leagues and football don't work together these days. Like these days, Ivy League schools are mostly geared towards, diversity, having the best talent coming in, people who work on like cutting edge technology, so on and so forth. You have your Ohio State and Notre Dames of the world, who are killing in football.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Burrow technically was not from Ohio State. I mean, he was, but he was not a great player.
So what makes Ivy Leagues like a part like what makes Ivy League different than other regular universities in United States?
So first off, I would like to say I don't think they're different. It's just that they have a very strong alumni base, and because they have a good alumni base, they have a lot of endowments coming in. And when you have good endowments coming in, you have good professors who come in and teach you. To give you an example, I had a professor who taught me simulation in my last semester. He was the first or one of the first people who used simulation to predict US elections, like the presidential elections. So in 2000, when the Bush versus Al Gore scene was happening, I guess he was on television doing, simulations and showing that if this happens, he will win. If that happens, he will win. He was my professor who was teaching me simulation during a 2016 election. So all of our coursework was basically based on his experience, how data and how simulation can predict elections and how it affects our current scenario. So that is what I learned the most, the experience of these, well educated, well trained, people in the industry. They taught you based on their experiences, which related to my experience, and it will stay with me for life. So I believe that is what you get at a Ivy League school, good experiences.
So one thing I like about the teachers who teach master courses over here are everybody is qualified to be like everybody is qualified with a PhD degree.
Correct.
One, like I think that's the pre-qualification for most of the teachers. Plus they have a tenure track with, and they have a lot of backup from the universities. Like the universities trust these professors that they are going to put good knowledge into the students or give them good knowledge, and most of the professors are Nobel laureates too.
Correct.
So that's one of the amazing features. And how was life in New York?
Well, now that you mention, the professors and what their qualifications are, so 2016 was the year when Obama was about to, give up his presidential chair and move on to his next chapter in life. So rumors were floating around the campus that Obama might come to teach as a guest professor.
I heard that too.
Yeah, and he's an Columbia alumni. So I was holding out 3 credits, which is equivalent to one course, until my last semester with the hope that Obama might come and teach. So I gave up on some really good courses just to have a chance to sit in Obama's class. Sadly, he never showed up. I mean, he's one of the most influential people in the world. He has so many other things to do. But yeah,
But even one guest lecture would have helped.
exactly. Even one guest lecture. But I was lucky enough to hear Raghuram Rajan.
Oh, nice.
So when I was at school, Raghuram Rajan actually did come to Columbia to have a guest lecture, and we saw him. Intelligent man, like smart.
So you are an avid traveler, right? You love traveling. I know that for sure. If you guys go on his Instagram profile or on his social media, you'll see that how much he travels, how much he likes to travel. So amongst all the places you've traveled in US,
Mhm.
what makes you stick to Manhattan?
Uh, I would say the pace of life. So we both grew in a city. We both had similar experiences growing up, and we both always had a quick life. Like there was never a dull moment in our childhood. Like you were doing one thing, you're doing other thing. For people who don't know, we actually did drawing class. I have no idea, I have no idea which boy these days goes to a drawing class for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of his life. But we studied everything. We did still life, we did nature drawing, we did everything. We were really good at it, and we did together. So everything was, quick paced. Everything was, always at the tip of your hands. And when I moved to New York City, my life did not change. When I came here, people used to ask me, like, how's the cultural shock? But my answer to them was, nothing has changed for me. Like, what I used to do back home is exactly the same thing that I do over here. It's just that it's a different set of people. I guess I feel at home in New York City. Second thing is that it never sleeps. Uh, I can get sushi delivered to my place at 4 a.m. in the morning. I have grocery stores below my apartment which are open 24/7. So when I have friends coming over, let's hope you come over soon, and we run out of chips and dips or beers at like 11 p.m. at night, then I don't have to worry about stores being closed. I can just walk down, go to a CVS or a Walgreens or a Modern Williams and just pick up something off the rack, come back, and we can continue our party. So I guess all in all, the fast pace of life, the familiarity to what I used to know and what I know now, and the 24/7ness of the city is what makes me love Manhattan.
You forgot the Central Park. Can you tell us about Central Park?
So Central Park is my favorite spot in the city. I have a dog. Her name is Chai because I love chai, and her hair color is of the same color as tea, chai basically. So I walk her twice daily, once in the morning, once in the evening, and I live very close to Central Park. So we go to Central Park twice a day. She's always off leash, and we know all the good spots. So if you ever come to the city and you want to go on a date, not with me,
We can go on a double date.
we can go on a double date. All right, I'll take you up for it. I know the best spots. I know the spots that no one knows, which overlook the lake or which overlook, some really good view, and they're very serene, very quiet. So you just have to come, and we'll plan something together.
So, how is Manhattan different from Brooklyn or Hoboken or the northern parts of
Okay.
New York City?
Uh-huh.
Like, what makes Lower Manhattan,
Mhm.
especially the place where I think you live in Lower Manhattan, right?
So I'm in
Closer to Lower
yeah.
Manhattan.
Mhm.
So, what's the difference between that and all other surrounding suburbs that you have?
Gotcha. So basically, New York City has 5 boroughs. You have Manhattan, you have Brooklyn, you have Queens, you have Bronx, and you have Staten Island. So Manhattan historically was the place where all the businesses were present. So that is why the growth happened very quickly in Manhattan. Queens and Brooklyn and Bronx were basically, where people used to live. Like they were the suburbs of Manhattan. Staten Island is a bit far. It is still a suburb. But now that population is exceedingly increasing in Manhattan borough itself, people have started moving out to Brooklyn and Queens and Bronx. So now if you consider the 4 boroughs, which are Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx and Queens, they are quite similar. Like you have your headquarters of companies in Brooklyn, you have headquarters in Bronx, you have headquarters in Queens, just like Manhattan. Staten Island, I would say, is still more of a suburb where, if you want to have a family, a backyard, a white picket fence, the typical American dream, then you go to Staten Island.
Oh, okay. I thought that was New Jersey for you guys.
Well, you have done your homework basically. So, yes. So, there are 2 reasons actually. One reason is tax. So, when you move to New Jersey, you don't have to pay New York City tax.
Oh, right.
So, New York City tax is pretty hefty. And to avoid that, most people move to Jersey City, which is like a couple of stops away from New York City downtown. So you could basically live in Jersey City, kind of have a similar lifestyle, and yet save on tax. And of course, it's cheaper than Manhattan. So yes, the coast of Jersey City is expensive now. It's filled with Indians. As you go deep inside Jersey, you see the true New Jersey at that point.
Right. I've been to Princeton actually.
Uh-huh.
Princeton University. It's a very old campus. Good vibe. Young students everywhere. Nice fancy restaurants which are a little bit older style. So other than I don't think I like Jersey City.
Yeah.
It's too crowded
Uh-huh.
for me. But if you go like 45 minutes away from that area,
Mhm.
I think the New Jersey is also beautiful.
Yeah. To talk about Princeton, I had a friend who did PhD at Princeton in beer making.
You
So
need a PhD for that?
exactly, that was my
I
question
think we
to
can
him.
do a PhD in beer drinking.
I wish this was beer. But yeah, I mean, so one thing that he told me was whatever you read in a description, you go to a nice craft beer place, they tell you it has a hoppy texture, it has whatever aroma, whatever flavor, it is all in the froth. So when you drink it, you don't feel it. But if you want to feel the flavor, the aroma, you gotta smell it.
Yeah, because if you go to Germany,
Uh-huh.
3/4 of the glass is beer and 1/4 of the glass is the froth, right? And their beers are a lot of frothy. Yeah, so what is it about the beer that you like?
What is it about the beer that I like? Well, it's gonna contradict the point you just made right now. I like to open a cold beer on a hot summer day. Just like today, actually. I went on a hike. It was nice one, you know.
And finally, you've covered Cuyahoga Valley National Park.
Yeah, you know, he is very kind enough to not mention the mispronunciation I was doing. So, okay, Cuyahoga is a very difficult name to pronounce for me. I had never known, how to pronounce it. So when I first came to, his house a couple of days ago, I'm like, I need to go to Cuyahoga National Park. And he and a couple of friends of his were looking at me and like, is this guy for real? Like, does he know how to pronounce it? Now I know it's Cuyahoga. How is it?
Cuyahoga Valley National Park.
Cuyahoga Valley National Park. I think I'm getting it correct now.
Yeah, so there's nothing special about Cuyahoga Valley National Park because if you go to any other national parks, and I know you've been to like 16, 17 of them, so every national park has one good feature. And then you have to hike a few miles to get to the feature, right? So if you look at it that way, there's not much. Cuyahoga Valley doesn't offer you a lot of things to see other than the hikes. These hikes range from like zero point 0.5 miles to 15-20 miles. There's rivers flowing through the Cuyahoga Valley. You can do kayaking into these rivers, and outside the Cuyahoga Valley National Park there are several bars on and they have those river facing or lake facing views. So that's what Cuyahoga Valley offers you over here. But other than that, there's nothing much to offer. One good thing that they have over here is they have a bald eagle conservation right here. I didn't know until a few weeks back, but they do have a bald eagle conservation over here. But like you said when we were talking earlier, that Cuyahoga Valley is easy access.
Correct.
So it's an easy access from the city. For people can drive 20-25 minutes and go on hikes. Whereas most of the other national parks, you have to travel at least 3-4 hours out of the city to go to these national parks. So although I've been to almost all of the trails by now, I enjoy Cuyahoga Valley National Park. It's nice, and I have the Cleveland Metro Park right in my backyard, so I don't miss nature.
Correct. So, for people who don't know, yesterday when I was out for a walk in the morning, there were a couple of deer right outside his apartment, just grazing, doing nothing. You could approach them. I believe you feed them apples, right?
Yeah, I feed them apples every day at 5 p.m. 5:30 when I come back from the office, and every day I walk into my balcony. They're waiting for me just to feed them. So they become my buddies.
So my dog likes you. Jarvis likes you.
Yeah, Jarvis.
Now you have a bunch of deer who like you. Is there any other animal that you have left that doesn't like you?
No, I just have to gain a title of Mowgli now.
Man. So yeah, you are absolutely right about the accessibility issue of the park.
Right.
You asked me about Central Park, and it's what 1/10th, 1/20th of what the Cuyahoga Valley National Park is, and I'm so happy with that. I just cannot even imagine how much more happier people in Ohio are that they can access the entire national park. Those trails, like you said, might not be really long or not really scenic, but you don't need to have that on a daily basis. Like when I'm stressed, I go to national park. Sorry, I go to Central Park. Whereas when you're stressed, you could go to a national park and
Yeah.
have waterfalls, have actual presence of nature and wilderness around you. I think that's great, man.
Yeah. So, other than the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, out of all the parks you visited, which one is your favorite?
That's a difficult question because
Which one did you like few of the top notch points that you liked at a few of the national parks? So I'll tell you
so
my
uh
favorite.
huh.
My favorite is Yellowstone and Grand Prismatic.
Okay.
So Grand Prismatic is a lake, and it emits chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
and these chemicals uh, have caused a reaction on the stone, like the surrounding stone. And what happens is the water flows over the stone, and it has given a peculiar color to these stones, and these colors are very beautiful. They are bright blue, bright orange, bright yellow. And if you look, so there's a overlook, so you have to hike like about 1 mile at the back, and from a top you can see the Grand Prismatic, and
Wow.
it's round in shape, like an exact round, and it's colorful.
Wow.
So that's pure nature, man.
Wow. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And one other thing was the Old Faithful. So
Uh-huh.
it's a geyser. So
Uh-huh.
geyser are basically geothermal energy that is released through the earth,
Uh-huh.
and when it releases the stream of water that is flowing below the earth,
Uh-huh.
so it takes the water and creates it into a steam, and it just explodes out,
Okay.
like how you open a bottle of champagne. But the Old Faithful, so the name Old Faithful comes because it is very faithful. Like, you can't predict with nature, but you can predict that geyser, that it will erupt every 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, so it erupts every 45 minutes. That's why it's called the Old Faithful. So the next time you're going to the Yellowstone National Park,
Uh-huh.
there on their website you should see geyser eruption timings, and
Uh-huh.
according to that you should plan your whole trip.
Interesting. Because I actually am going to Yellowstone in August for my birthday hike.
Nice.
I'm gonna ping you. I'm gonna get you the itinerary. I'm gonna get the itinerary from you. But hold on. So I remember seeing a post on Airbnb's official page. They reposted your story, I believe, or your
Yeah,
post.
yeah.
Was it Yellowstone?
No, so that was Glacier National Park.
Holy shit! How many have you done?
A little less than you,
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. But okay, go on.
but still a lot. So Glacier National Park is in Montana,
Okay.
the northernmost point of Montana, and it's like a big mountain ranges. So we got a very good deal at this place in Airbnb. So I always wanted to live in a trailer,
Uh-huh.
like an RV, but I didn't want to drive the RV to that place.
Yeah, it's pain, man.
It's painful, and then I don't want to take care of the sewage water,
Yeah.
and refueling it and making sure I don't damage it or something. So I would rather so there are camps that offer stays at RV kind of a setup, like a trailer kind of a setup, and these setups are already there. All you got to do is go there, park your car somewhere, and live in those. And that's what I wanted to have. But this setup was in, I believe, somewhere in Montana. I forgot the name of the place, but it had a backdrop of the Glacier National Park,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a nice sunroof. You could see the sun, and it was calm as fuck. Like, there was literally nothing around us, and I kind of clicked a picture in which I was stepping out of the trailer, and I tagged Airbnb in that, and they pinged me, can we post this on our page? I'm like, okay.
Hope they paid you for it.
Ah.
Sensitive issue, sensitive issue. But okay, so you asked me what my favorite park was.
Yeah.
I'll answer that, but I want to know what your favorite park has been.
My favorite park, I think, my favorite park was Glacier National Park,
Okay.
because the lakes had cobalt blue color. It was the lakes that we used to paint in pictures, right?
Guys, he used to go drawing class. Remember that, okay?
So, as a child, how you would imagine mountains, and how you would imagine rivers flowing through mountains, how you would imagine the sun behind
Uh-huh.
the mountains, and blue lakes.
Uh-huh.
So Glacier National Parks offer you that snow-capped mountains. So
Nice.
I think it's beautiful, and we kind of went towards the end of the season, so there was literally no people around us, and there is a path called going to the Sun Pass.
Uh-huh.
So it goes from East Glacier to the West Glacier Park. It's closed during the winters, but they open it only during the summer. So that was actually the last week they were going to keep it open. So we didn't even read about it. We were just like,
Nice.
let's go, and we went.
Yeah,
But
I remember it actually because we're talking on phone for something and you just asked me like, do you want to come to Glacier? I'm like, when? You are like, tomorrow. I'm like, you kidding me, right? Like, I don't get work from home, I just cannot leave my work and come and meet you, but this guy travels a lot.
so actually there is I don't know which part of Canada is above Glacier.
Okay.
But we actually went to the US Canada border,
Really?
and there is literally very minimum kind of immigration kind of thing over there. There's just one road from this way going into that way, and just one road coming from there to this side.
Uh-huh.
I literally went as close as 0.5 miles, and I could see it from there.
Nice.
And it like you could literally run from like there's no border,
Yeah.
and you could just run from one end to the other.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
No.
But that's my favorite park. Which one is yours?
Um, Olympic National. Olympic National in Washington State.
Nice. I've never been there.
You should. I'll tell you why it's my favorite. The ecosystem is something that was very diverse. I went there for the mountains, like you said. When you go to a national park, in Pacific Northwest, you're gonna hike a mountain. You know what you expect. You expect snow-capped mountains, good hike trails, so on and so forth. But surprisingly, that park also has a rainforest. It's called Ho Rainforest.
That's a funny name to have.
I know, but imagine you have snow-capped mountains and you drive for 20-25 minutes and you enter rainforest. Then you drive for more 20-25 minutes and you have surfing beaches. I was like, you have a beach, you have snow-capped mountains, and you have a rainforest. I am just in love with this park. That actually brings me to another point. If not New York City, Seattle is my city. I just don't like the rain over there, but the proximity to the mountains, proximity to all the national parks from the Pacific Northwest is something that intrigues me, is something that, calls me.
So if not Cleveland, I have two choices. One is Ann Arbor, Michigan,
Okay.
because it's a young student town. I kind of like to live in a young student kind of a town, because it keeps the child in me alive.
Correct.
And in your busy day-to-day life, I think you should still hold on to the child within you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose it.
Mhm.
So one is that, and the second one is Austin.
Austin. I've never been to
Austin,
Austin.
Texas. Dude, Austin is so nice. It has Pune-like temperature.
Really?
Yeah, it is literally Pune. There are no entry exit ramps
Uh-huh.
on most of the places. On highways, you just cut the lanes and take your right or take your left.
So here's the funny thing, okay? So this girl I was dating, she was from Australia. And her friend from Australia was getting married and they had a bachelorette party in Austin, Texas. I have never been to Austin, Texas, and now that you're a second person who's telling me it's a great city and you should go there. Tell me more about it.
So, I actually went for my friend's graduation over there, Omkar. He graduated from Texas, San Antonio. No, I think it was very close to Austin.
Okay.
And then the Austin Riverwalk, like the downtown area of Austin, is good. The houses over there are good. Now it's picking up a little bit because, as you know, Texas is it doesn't have state taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people who are working from home, it's a good opportunity for them to set up their base in Austin, because they save a lot of money by not paying state taxes. The weather is good. It doesn't snow. I'm done with snow. I can't do it anymore. Um, and then what else? I think I kind of relate to people. I kind of relate to the cowboy
Yeah.
kind of people, right?
I've seen your hat, man.
Yeah.
I've seen your hat. Love that hat.
So I like people who do ranching,
Uh-huh.
because I've grown up with that, right? I had a farm. Every Sunday I used to go to my farm in Pune, and then I see a lot of farmers over there. I see a lot of tractors over there. Not in Austin city, but if you go towards the outskirts, if you drive like 30 to 45 minutes out of the city, I see a lot of Wrangler jeans, Levi's jeans kind of people wearing good shirts and then riding on
Yeah.
horsebacks. So I kind of like that kind of a vibe. So temperature
Mm-hmm.
good, sorry, temperature good, weather good, no state taxes, good job opportunities, and then people who I like around me. All in
Correct.
all, it make. But it would be weird to see a brown cowboy with a hat,
No,
right?
I think you are who you are. Your skin does not define you. But having that's a different day. I do see a pattern over here. So you said Yellowstone, that's Wyoming. You said Glacier, that's Montana. You say Austin, that's Texas. I definitely see a cowboy pattern over here.
Yeah.
Like you are a cowboy at heart, true and through. So deer, cat, dogs, done. When do we get a horse?
Horse. As soon as I go back to Pune, I'm going to have I'm going to have at least two horses on my farm because I want to do horseback riding. So, I want horses so that I can inspect my farm
Okay.
whenever I go back, so I can just get on a horse and do with my farm my visits.
Nice.
Instead of driving cars through the farm, I think
Yeah.
horseback riding would be so cool.
So are you gonna take the hat that you own,
Of course,
and
yes.
Pune, and you're gonna be like, hey, I'm coming here. Please invite me. I wanna see that. I really wanna see that.
So one thing that stops me from moving into bigger cities is I don't like my freedom taken away of driving cars.
Okay.
Because as you know that when we were in Pune, we rode our own bikes, we had our own cars. Even here in Ohio, I can drive my own car. I don't have to worry about parking. I don't have to worry about parking under my building, under my office, or anywhere you go. Parking is free.
Mm-hmm.
It's hassle-free driving, and then you can just go anywhere you want, whenever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you have a very good public transport structure in New York, but I don't think I can do public transport. Never
Really?
done it.
So I do agree with you that if you're not in New York City, anywhere else in this country, you need a car. Like without a car, you cannot survive. New York City transport is great because it never shuts. It's 24/7. Whereas I've lived in DC. I go to Boston very often. I've been to Chicago, San Francisco, all the big cities. Their public transport is not that frequent and it shuts down at certain point at night. That's something I can't do. So you have to own a car. Second thing is that I'm very limited in terms of weekend vacations I can take because I don't have a car in the city for obvious reasons. One, it's expensive to have a parking spot in the city, and two, it's expensive to basically own a car in the city for other various reasons.
And even your work is too far, so it's better you drive.
Correct.
Sorry, it's better you take public transport than drive, right?
Correct. So if I have to go on a weekend vacation, like hey, I think that I want to do a small day trip to an upstate town in New York, or maybe go to Pennsylvania, go to Pocono or something of that sort. I cannot do that because I have to go rent a car. And given the supply shortage, car rentals are not available. If they're available, they are super expensive. I have to be reliant on Metro North or other commuter rails like NJ Transit and Amtrak to get me to the destination. If I'm doing a weekend hike, I need to take my dog because hey, it's for both of us. And Amtrak doesn't allow dogs. I mean, they do allow dogs, but the dog has to be at 25 pounds, including the carrier. My dog in itself is 60 pounds. So my dog can't go on Amtrak. My dog can't go on NJ Transit.
Oh, your dog can't go on Amtrak?
No.
But can you take him through your subways?
Yes. So I do take chai on the subway. I do take chai on Metro North. So Metro North gives me access to a few hikes upstate and in Connecticut, but I'm very limited because I don't own a car. And I understand your point as to why you would like to have a car.
Yeah, and can you take dogs in Uber or Lyfts?
It's funny that you ask. So last weekend I did this birthday hike for Chai. So 28th of May, yesterday was Chai's birthday.
Oh, happy
She-
birthday, Chai. How old is she now?
She turned 3 years old.
3 years.
Let's make one thing clear: she is not a pandemic puppy.
Okay.
I got her before the pandemic. So as I was gonna visit you, so I wanted to do something special for her, before I left. So we went on a hike to Blue Mountain. It's in upstate New York. It's a small town called Peekskill. Great town, good vibe. But three Uber drivers cancelled on me after they saw me with a dog. The last Uber driver had the audacity to basically look at me, leave, and then on the app say that I never showed up. Uber charged me like a $10 fee or something of that sort.
Every time they cancelled?
Yes, because they never mentioned that they were cancelling the ride. All they did was they mentioned I never showed up. Whereas I was right there, they saw me with a dog and they cancelled. So I had to dispute that. I have not had any issue in New York City in terms of having a dog in an Uber, but small towns, yes, there is definitely some red tape around it.
Speaking about Poconos, last last December
Uh-huh.
we were at the Poconos,
Yes.
and it was your first experience skiing.
Yeah.
How was it, dude?
Well, it was very scary because there was no instructor there, but you were a very good instructor. I remember you teaching me the pizza, like that's how you should be skiing, and I have a fear of heights because of the bungee that we discussed. I also have fear of speed because I did have an accident when I was like 16, 17 and I was riding a moped at a very high speed. So whenever I was going down the slope, I could not, come to terms with I could not stop this. What if I can't stop this? I'm gonna go and crash. So I would fall down prematurely. But I saw this guy going down the slope at real slow speed in the pizza shape. And I remember you were doing the black diamond. I mean, I don't know, man. How can you do a black diamond? It's so difficult. It looks so difficult. It's so up top. But when you came down, you told me that hey, it's possible. You can just do the pizza the entire way. That gave me a hell of a confidence. And then I did the slope, the beginner slope, multiple times. Since then, I haven't had chance to go skiing, but I definitely want to go skiing again.
Yeah, so I kind of have a season pass where I've been going to this mountain over here. It's like a 1 hour drive. It's called Snow Trails in Mansfield, Ohio. So Mansfield has the Shawshank Redemption prison.
Really?
Yeah, so the prison that they show in Shawshank Redemption, it's that prison. So you can do prison tours over there. And during Halloween, they set up this prison as a haunted house. So we've been there, and you get to have a real feel of a haunted place in an actual prison. Although it's decommissioned now,
Uh-huh.
it's just open for tourists, but it was fun. And then if you pay $5 extra, they'll give you a glowing band,
Mhm.
and it's basically called Touch Pass. So all the characters who are ghosts in the prison, they can come and touch you, or uh, instead of just them scaring you from a distance, you give them permission to come and touch you. So
Oh boy.
$5.
So okay, so hold on, tell me something. If you are going through the experience,
Yeah.
and someone comes and just slyly touches you, what if you punch them? Because your reflex is to hit back.
Yeah, but you're giving them permission for touching you. So you kind of have that in the back of mind that somebody comes and touches you or scares you. It's those actors who are coming in.
Gotcha.
So anyways, yeah, so I go to Mansfield. I've been going there. One of my colleagues, John, and his fiance, they come over there, and we have fun. We have fun over there. We drink sometimes, and drinking and skiing is so fun, dude. Like, have one beer
Yeah.
and get a little bit buzzed,
Yeah.
and then ski the mountains.
Well, it might be fun for pros like you. For people like me who are just learning how to ski, that sounds very scary.
At least it will reduce the pain that that you get
Well,
after falling.
The thing is, I might get the pain only because I'm drunk. I would rather not drink, do the good ski, and then come back to the whatever it's called, the drink and ski.
But you know what you got to do? You got to learn one stage upper than the beginner, because many people fall on the beginner's slope, and not a lot of people fall on the medium kind of slopes. So once you get one notch higher than the newbies, you'll actually enjoy skiing.
Hey, I actually have a question for you. So the slope initially was difficult. I got it. I got the hang of it. Everything was fine. But once you got on the ski lift and you went back, you have to start skiing immediately as soon as the lift reaches the point where you have to get off.
Yeah, so there's kind of a unloading area, they
Correct.
call it. So you have to quickly unload yourself, and there's a slope that comes down
Yes.
a little bit, and then you have to kind of take kind of take a turn,
Yes.
and then you are at the face or the beginning of the slope.
Correct. So that was the most difficult part for me.
Getting off the ski lift.
Getting off the ski lift, no. Getting off the ski lift and immediately making the turn. Because I was doing it for the first time, and getting off the ski lift, first time I got hurt. I fell down. Second time I understood what to do. I was okay with it. But then as soon as you get off, there is a sharp right turn, which is not just a turn, it's almost a U-turn
Yes.
to get to the face. I've been to only one ski slope, that's the one in Poconos with you. Do all ski slopes have that?
Yeah, all of them. It's a common feature.
So it's by design that as soon as you get off, there is a turn.
Yeah,
Why?
because those ski lifts take you to the peak of the mountain, right?
Mhm.
And there's nothing on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is snow, but it's not. It's out of the ski resort boundaries,
Okay.
or that snow is not curated for slopes. So it's like natural snow or something. And for you to avoid going into there, they usually put a tape kind of thing that you can't enter that area. So as soon as you reach the peak of the mountain, you have to take a U-turn and go down. You can't go on the opposite side. Or I haven't been to any ski resorts that you can go up from one side and come down from the other.
So how long did it take you to master that? Because I think that's the most difficult thing I'll have to ever master.
So let me give you a little bit of background. I used to do skating when I was in India.
Oh.
So I started with the skates that had 4 wheels,
Uh-huh.
like two parallel and two like how cars have wheels. And then I started doing inline skating. So those were wheels that are in line, like 4 wheels in a single line.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a sense of balance from
Mhm.
that. So before I went into skiing, I went into ice skating.
Mhm.
I was pretty good at that too, because I that is built into my muscle memory,
Okay.
and I know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
So there was very little learning, and more than learning, it was adaptation to the new sport that I was doing.
Okay.
And ski is also similar to skating, but it's just that the skis are new.
Uh-huh.
So I just had to get adapted to the new features, and I
Nice.
got it. So it took me 1 season to learn or to get adapted to it, and from the second season I started doing blacks, like black
Now diamond blacks.
yeah,
Black diamonds, yeah.
black diamonds. So it was only 2 seasons, but I used to go with my colleague, and then he used to ride only blacks. So he's like, hey, why are you doing beginners, or why are you doing mediums? Come with us. So he does snowboarding, which is a complete different game.
Yeah.
I want to try that, but I don't want to start from the beginning, because
Gotcha.
I fear falling and breaking my bones. I
Oh.
don't want to get into that. So
I thought you were gonna say once you go black, you never go back. But that's a very good point, that how skating actually helped you with ice skating and how it helped you with skiing. Because I have tried ice skating multiple times. I've been to the Rockefeller rink, I've been to Central Park rink, I've been to Bryant Park rink, and I just cannot. I mean, I have to hold the rail to walk with those skates on.
Yeah.
As soon as I leave the skate, I can go like 2 swish, like swish, swish. My third swish, I'm falling down. So I would rather hold the rail, and it's just not for me. Give some tips. Any tips for me?
So, tips as in, you shouldn't fear about falling down. All you need to focus is how can I control, how can I get down. So the moment you bring up in your mind that you're going to fall, you're actually going to fall.
Okay.
So all you're going to focus is your pizza.
Uh-huh.
Initially, how
Also
to
in ice skating.
in ice skating, in ice skating it's a tea break.
Okay.
So you don't do a pizza. So you don't do a pizza shape with your ice skates. So it's like one skate ahead and one at the back.
Correct.
So it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
tea
yeah.
break.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
It took me many years to learn roller skating too. So it's years of practice. It's not that I pulled it out of my hat and I just started doing it.
Yeah, but skiing sounds so cool, right?
Skiing is cool. Skiing
Yeah,
is really
exactly.
cool. So the first year I didn't have proper gear.
Yeah.
So proper gear means the ski gloves are different. You can't wear regular gloves for skiing. The ski gloves are longer,
Mm-hmm.
and they come over your ski coat, the
Mhm.
coat that you wear. The coat is different. It has to be waterproof, because if you fall, all the snow will get into your body, and then everything, your inner clothes will be wet.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to have proper ski pants. Even the ski pants are kind of waterproof. Then you need to have ski goggles. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's an option, but I like it because sometimes if there's a skier in front of you, especially on black diamonds, and if he while taking turns, if he puts some snow into your eyes, that you are not in a position to make a stop on black diamonds and clean your eyes, right? So you have to keep on going, so goggles really help. And then I use my AirPods while skiing, so
Seriously?
yeah, I listen
So
to
you listen to music while skiing?
Yeah, I listen
Oh
to
boy!
I kind of put old Bollywood songs, 90s, and I ski. Dude, it's fun. Like, I go almost skiing every Sunday.
Yeah.
Every Sunday for 5-6 hours.
Yeah. Interesting. It's an interesting thing that you bring up about old 90s Bollywood songs. 90s and I would say early 2000s is something everyone likes. I went to this birthday party of a friend in Virginia. It was her 30th, so she was having a big party. She booked a nice, house like an Airbnb, and her friends from across the country flew in. Some from Idaho, some from Cali, some from Texas, DC, New York, everyone, and various different fields, different age groups, different backgrounds completely. But the night when we were actually, getting drunk and having our birthday party, 2000s early Bollywood music is what brought everyone together. I don't know what magic it has, but it just, creates a nostalgia. And it's not like, everyone was of the same age group. People were from, late 30s, early 30s, early 20s, mid 20s like us. So what do you think? Why is 2000 music connecting with people?
I So this is my take on it. Okay,
Uh-huh.
back in those days, we didn't have cell phones, right?
Mhm.
We did not have a lot of distraction, like
Mhm.
in terms of social media or anything. So the only form of entertainment was for us was music,
Mhm.
and we didn't have music on demand.
Mhm.
We had to listen to whatever was playing on TV at that time.
Yeah.
And these were the only songs playing on TV all day, every day.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of jived into that rhythm, and everybody knows, like every 90s kids knows almost all
Yeah.
the 90s songs.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a logic behind? I think that's the logic behind
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I do see the point, but I'm also, what do you say, confused about how an early 20s guy, okay, an early 20s guy at this point was born in 2000,
Right.
right? He still is grooving to the music that I was playing, which is, a song from 2002. He was 2 years old, so there is no way he knew that song. But still, it's a song that he knew, he loved it. I don't know, I think the music was just better.
The music was better, but if you see, even us,
Uh-huh.
we like Kishore Kumar sometimes. Like, at least I like Kishore
Yeah,
Kumar
yeah.
sometimes. I like Lata Mangeshkar. Although they were only a few years after we actually understood music, but all their hit songs were in the past.
Yeah, like way before you were born.
Yeah, so how we jive to that music, probably the 2000 born guy won't relate to those 70s songs, 70s or 80s
Ah.
songs. But we, being in 90s, relate to the 70s or 80s song. That's how they're born in 2000 and still relate to the 90s songs.
That's a very good point actually, because I've been thinking on this for a long time, but I think that covers my question. Yeah.
So, what is it about the United States that you like the most?
About United States that I like the most.
Let me reframe the question. What makes you stay in US, and you see, like, I don't know what your future plans are. By speaking with you, I know that you want to go back.
Mhm.
But what is making you stop for the next few years?
I would say opportunity. Like, this country is known as the land of opportunity,
Right.
and I think we came here for a better opportunity, you and me both, and we have been, lucky enough, knock on wood, to have good opportunities given to us. I'm not saying anything was given to us. We fought
Earned it.
very hard for it.
Earned it.
Yeah, exactly. We earned it, and I believe we still have something more to get. Of all the efforts we put in, of all the hard work we have put in. So if you did your undergrad and started working immediately, you would have a 2 or 3 years of more, what do you say, advantage as compared to what we have currently. Because we did a master's immediately out of our undergrad, we had more in terms of our intellectual capacity. Like, we learned more, we had good understanding, we had better knowledge. But because we did not have any work experience prior to doing our master's, we could not get a job that would immediately qualify for a master's degree.
Right.
So we had to start at a bachelor's degree, even though we had the knowledge and the capacity of a master's degree. So I believe we have a few more years of what this country has to offer for us to realize our full potential. What do you think about this?
You know what yeah, you whatever you're saying is right. Like, it's an opportunity, but I would like to add to it is that this country is all about meritocracy.
Correct.
I don't know how to pronounce it,
Yeah.
but like what I mean to say,
It's kuya hoga.
yeah, it's kuya hoga. It's kuya hoga for me. But what I mean to say is, most of the positions in this country are not dependent upon who you know,
Uh-huh.
right? Who you are related to,
Mm-hmm.
or it's not about what's your background about. It's about how much knowledge you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's about if you are experienced enough for this position, and if you are capable enough to handle this position,
Mm-hmm.
you'll make your way up on the ladder, in any company, I think. And even if you are young,
Mhm.
if you are young, you can be a boss, or you can be a leader to many older people or more experienced people,
Mhm.
if you show the ability that you have your intellectual capacity, and you have the skills to learn new technology or whatever is the current thing.
Mhm.
And that is what I like about this country, that even at a very young age you can reach to a point that probably would take you several years in any other country.
Correct.
That's my view on it.
No, it's true actually, and I believe we are millennials. I believe Gen Z has cracked the code. So millennials at least stick to a job for, I would say, 3-4 years before trying to even think of making a jump. Because of all the friends that I've talked to who are from a similar age group, their opinion has always been, get some experience, get some connections made, and then you can move to a new position, a higher position, a different company if you want to. But I have seen my friends who are Gen Z, oh boy, they just jump. They jump in a year. They just keep on jumping, and they have cracked the code. Like you said, you don't need to have age behind you, or you don't need to have, a connection behind you for you to succeed. It's completely based on merit, and Gen Z has cracked it. I'll tell you something. You have heard this quote, jack of all trades but master of none. So I have seen a lot of reels, and in one of my reels it popped up, which hit me. The actual saying is, jack of all trades, master of none is still better than master of one. That is the actual saying. We humans have the tendency to basically cut short, idioms, or cut short sayings, or even cut short anything we want to what suits us. But I agree with that saying, the complete saying. Jack of all trades is better than a master of one. And that is what Gen Z has cracked. I have friends who are like, young, and they have bounced from jobs working in private equity to cryptocurrency to data, and now they are working in aerospace. So in a span of 6-7 years, they have experience in 4 different industries. They have experience in 4 different sectors of how people work in different industries. And I believe that is what this world needs. You don't need for you to have specialization in only one field. Again, there are two sides to every coin. If you're a neurosurgeon, I want you to be specialized.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, for people like you and me who are, trying to make something of themselves, by looking at what's out there, knowing your skills, understanding the world, living your life, I think being a jack of all trades is better than being a master of one.
One other example that I can think of when you ask me what makes me stay in the United States. So, to start with, as you said, that we graduated, and as soon as we graduated, we came to the United States. So we don't have enough work experience in India.
Mhm.
Not
Zero.
enough. Yeah, enough is also a big word. Zero work experience. So all we worked in our life, like I'm talking about a professional
Mhm.
job, right? we've done in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So working in these companies, I find that these companies are well structured. These companies have a lot of work ethics.
Mm-hmm.
These companies have good organization, and these companies have good working hours. Like
Mhm.
nobody is over here is expecting you to reply to an email or a message after 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
or after you leave your office. Nobody is going to disturb you on your personal cell phone on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of rude for them to contact you on weekends on your personal cell phone. So I think that the line that Americans draw when it comes to work
Mm-hmm.
is what I like, and the importance that they give to mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Although uh, when I was young, I didn't understand the importance of mental health in a day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I'm strong, my mind is sharp and I'm everything. But working in a company and managing so many tasks at the same time, your brain needs to relax.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain needs some space. Your brain needs some time to do whatever you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So the importance that these companies give to mental health
Mm-hmm.
is what I think makes me feel good about staying in the United States.
Mm-hmm. So that's a very good point you bring up about mental health, and I'll give an example on that. So I recently joined my new company like a year ago, and when I was looking for a new job before I joined this company, I was on a call with my cousin. By the way, who just recently gave birth, so kudos to her and the new baby.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So I was talking to her that after working for like 8-9 hours a day, I'm spent. Like I did not have any mental capacity or mental bandwidth to go home and apply for jobs. So I'm like, help me, why am I feeling this way? Because it's not like I'm physically tired or something of that sort. So she said that let's assume you were back in the era of 1500s or 1600s. Your main job was physical labor, like for a common man. If you were asked to lift stones from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. and you go back home at 6 p.m., sorry, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you go back home at 6 p.m. and at home your family asks you to lift more stones for 3 more hours, your body can't take it.
Right.
Lifting stones in that age was making you money, which is equivalent to using your brain right now from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you go back at 6 p.m. and then someone asks you to again do something that is very, intellectually rigorous for next 3 hours, bro, you can't do it.
I know.
I mean, you need, of course, you can do it, and there are super successful people, who sleep for 4 hours a day, have planned the scheduled life to the T. It is possible. Human brain is very powerful. It's possible, but if you want to have a good work-life balance, you need to focus on mental health, because you just cannot jump from 9 to 5, from 6 to 9. You need to have a gap. Go for a walk. You have Cuyahoga Valley where you can just go and run, or maybe fly a drone. I don't know, but yeah, you need to take your break, and you need to relax before you get to do something that will stress you out more.
Yeah, so recently to relieve me from my stress, what I've started doing is I've started playing a lot of pool.
Oh, nice.
So there is a pool club near my house. Me
Mhm.
and Arjun is sitting right here. So me and Arjun, we go and play pool. When I and my buddies in Kent, we used to go out bowling.
Mhm.
We also participated in a lot of bowling leagues. So we used to do that. Then during the pandemic time, we used to play Call of Duty Mobile. We also qualified in the second round of World Championship.
Holy shit.
We were that great,
Yeah.
But you have to tell him how did we
Qualify?
go to the next stage?
How?
Because we did a spelling mistake in email ID.
Oh yeah.
What?
So what happened was, we qualified the first stage. We almost did we qualify the second stage
Yeah.
too? Yeah, we qualified the second stage. We tried to enter our names into the third stage. So it's a squad of five people, right?
Yeah, 5. No, we have 1 in reserve.
One in
like
reserve.
Total 6 can be in the team.
Yeah.
So we had to enter everyone's details, including birth of date, email ID, phone number, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So once you enter your email ID, you get a verification mail.
Okay.
And you have to click it and verify that you are enrolling in the tournament.
Correct.
And you agree the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
So one of my friend was entering all the teammates' details.
Huh?
So in that he made one spelling mistake. We didn't get a verification email.
Oh boy.
So they directly disqualified.
Yeah, we were kicked out of the championship.
But you should have emailed them back, right? Like, hey, this was a
We
mistake.
tried to call the customer care. No one responded.
And then you know we are Indian engineers, right? We do everything at the last minute.
Yeah.
So we were kind of qualified. We qualified that the deadline was like 12 a.m. and we
Yeah.
qualified at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. And then we just had 2 hours, so we couldn't get in touch with any of the customer service or anything.
So you guys are telling me that you never knew how good you were because you never competed with the top third round teams.
Yeah,
So you should get back together and do it next year.
yeah, we should, right?
We should, yeah. But we need a lot of practice. But we don't have that in.
Yeah,
So,
because
so what we used to do is during the pandemic time, everybody was working from home.
Mhm.
So we used to clock out at not clock out, but usually leave work at 3 p.m.
Mhm.
Get on the ground at 4 p.m.
Mhm.
and then we used to play cricket every day.
Oh, I hate
Every
you.
fucking day for 2.5 to 3 months. We used to play cricket from 5 p.m. up until 8:30 because the sunset is at 9.
Mhm.
For good 3.5 to 4 hours. We every day we had around 30 people.
Mhm.
Sometimes we had to make people sit because we didn't have enough space in the team.
Mhm.
And then after 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. we used to go to Arjun's house in Holly Park.
Mhm.
And
Well,
around-
you gotta tell me what Holly Park is.
yeah, Holly. Yeah, so Holly Park is a society, like an accommodation.
In Ohio.
In Kent.
It's like a apartment
Student housing.
complex.
Okay.
So it's right beside the campus.
Okay.
So it's filled with only students.
Yeah, so Holly Park is
Basically good party scene.
yeah,
Yeah, go on.
our Haveli types. So we used to go there. We used to start playing COD, Call of Duty Mobile at 9:30. We used to play it until 2 a.m.
Mhm.
2-3 a.m. 15 of us sitting in one room playing against each other.
Oh boy.
And that's how we practiced our skills. So, and not only one team, we qualified 2 teams. We qualified 2 teams in World Championship.
So you were really good.
We were really good. As a team, we were good. Individually, only few people were good. Arjun was
So
good.
when you are playing as a team, you need someone to defend. All can't go as an assault.
Correct.
So
It's a strategy.
Yeah. So we coordinated a team so that we have a defenders
Mhm.
who defend us, whoever comes behind us
Uh-huh.
to take control there.
Uh-huh.
And we had 3 assaulters in both the teams.
Uh-huh.
So who can rush and kill people.
So it was a game of strategy. It wasn't
It was
that.
not just killing. You have to know the map. You have to anticipate where the enemy is coming.
Uh-huh.
Then you have to go before they make it there.
We
Interesting.
played the game so many times. We knew the map. Like
Okay.
we knew each and
we
every
had-
corner where you can hide, where is a good angle of shooting, and which gun to use in which map. So we expertise, like we were expert at everything, and that's how we got into that.
So, okay, so I don't play games. I mean, I might play games in real life. Haha, lol. But I don't play games on Xbox or video game, whatever it is. I guess the last game I played was Counter-Strike. And funny story, I was planning this bachelor party for a friend in Nashville. So Nashville has, what do you call it? The one where you shoot people, paintball. Has a paintball arena.
That's a bad analogy.
Okay, fake shoot people. Okay, not real shoot people. What I meant was fake shoot people. It's called paintball. So they have this place in Nashville which lets you design your own map based on Counter-Strike maps.
Nice.
So I had paid them in advance and stuff. Sadly, that bachelor party did not happen in Nashville.
Did he get married though?
Yeah, just poking me to say something we shouldn't say right now. So I won't say them. But yes, he's happily married. He's having a good life. But that bachelor party did not happen in Nashville. But yes, next time we should try to book that paintball arena in Nashville, and we should do D-Dust 2, because I still remember D-Dust 2 map on Counter-Strike in the back of my hand.
Yeah, because you know how we played at net cafes.
LAN. On
using
LAN. On
yeah.
LAN. People who are born now don't know what LAN
LAN
is.
is exactly.
LAN was so much fun. And oh man.
I remember we had to use dial-up internet.
Oh boy.
And
And then, yeah.
it used to get disconnected when the
Landline would have picked up my phone.
Yeah.
So my mom recently shut the landline at our house, at my home. So that actually broke my heart, because I only had one phone number programmed in my cell phone as home, and that was my home landline number. And I have no home at this point. I have places I live at. Like I have my mom's cell number. Now I have my friend's cell number. I have my cell number, but I have no place to call home.
So, so with me, in my Google Maps, I had my home address back in Pune
Mhm.
as my home address,
Mhm.
and every day Google kind of the AI tracks you, right? Where is your office? Where is your home? And they gave me a suggestion. Do you want to mark your home in Ohio as home? I'm
Mhm.
like, no, I don't want to do that because this can't be my home.
Exactly.
My home is back in India. So it took me almost 6 years to make that change. But finally, I made that change last
you
year.
made it.
I made it.
Oh.
It was heartbreaking, but I made it.
Yeah. I mean, I use Google Maps, but not as much as you because you drive, right? So
Yeah.
you need Google Maps a lot. So my use of Google Maps is when I walk or when I hike. So I don't have any home setting set up. But I think when I buy my next home, I'm gonna get a landline. and, I'm gonna name it home. Like I am home, honey.
So
yeah.
So speaking about maps, I use Waze. So
Okay.
Waze is, I think, bought by Google, right?
Yeah.
But it's a very interactive kind of a map where you can mark where the cops are, where the potholes are, or if there is some debris on the road or anything. And the next person using Waze gets an option. Do you still see a cop or
Mhm.
no? And 99.99%, it's real time data.
Mhm.
And I've saved so many people, and so many people have saved me. So
Correct.
Waze is a very interactive app that I've used.
So you bring up a very nice point. So Google bought Waze long back, Google Maps, because they realized that the logic and the algorithm that Waze has is great. It's terrific. It's gonna take us a lot of money to replicate it and perfect it. So these big companies just buy you out, man. Like Google bought Waze out, did not change anything, but they're taking money out of Waze now. So I think
But they still use the Waze features in their Google Maps.
how
Like you can still report a cop on Google Maps.
really.
Yeah.
I don't think you can report a cop. I never got an option to report a cop on
Like
Google
you
Maps.
see the speed camera.
I see the speed camera. I
Yeah,
know
like-
that's a cop.
Yeah, so you can report a cop, but no one does it. Like it is not as easy as
Oh, it's
Waze.
not that interactive.
Yeah, like Waze has a community base where they want to do it. Like Google Maps doesn't have that,
Okay.
so you need the community to back you.
Like I said, my use of maps is very less. So whatever you guys say, I'm like thumbs up, thumbs up.
Speaking about big companies buying smaller companies, or people buying bigger
Big people
companies,
buying
big people
small
buying
companies.
small companies. What's your take on Elon Musk buying Twitter?
I mean, he has the money. He can do anything he wants with it. It's his money. I don't know. Like I don't know what his vision is for Twitter, because Twitter was something revolutionary. Putting your thoughts in 140 characters and hashtags. I believe we think hashtag is such a common thing now. You can hashtag on Facebook, you can hashtag on Insta, you can hashtag on everywhere. But coming up with the idea of hashtagging was by Twitter.
Or even at the rate and mention somebody. I think even that was the Twitter idea.
I think you could do at tag someone on Facebook before
Facebook
Twitter.
too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Okay.
we could do that.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
hashtag was something that was Twitter, and I found it to be very intriguing. It was a smart idea. I'm not a software engineer, but I think the coding that must have gone behind it when it first started must have been really cool. I hope with Elon's experience on coming up with new innovative things, he does something cool with Twitter.
I know, you know what feature I found cool about Twitter? back in those days, I'm talking about 90s, because that is those days for us, right? Any public announcement that a leader, or a government official had to do was through news channels, and those news channels aired only for few hours, like 1 or 2 hour in the evening, 1 hour in the morning, right? So the way the channels by which leaders could communicate with the people was very limited, only through these news channels. But as soon as many people got access to Twitter, they could tweet literally at any time. And Twitter actually got more value over traditional news channels.
Correct.
Because any breaking news was out on Twitter first, any announcement was out on Twitter first, any viral thing was out on Twitter first, and you no longer had to wait up until the evening or next morning's newspaper to know what legislative changes have taken place. So Twitter is a very good platform, I think. And
I agree. I agree that it's a very good platform, but you also have to take into account that there is no moderation over there. Like tomorrow, I can go. Like I'm no one. Let's say I have some. I have some power at some point in life. Tomorrow, I can go and I can post something which some people who think that I have some legit knowledge about that specific subject, and they take my word seriously on that, they might just take it for granted. But the media outlets, they have teams set up to basically verify, moderate, and make sure that whatever is going to public is scrutinized and it's correct. So I like how Twitter and other social media platforms have basically opened it up to everyone and have opened it up to everyone at every given second of time. But I also think there needs to be a moderation. I don't think moderation has to come from a third party human or a third party company, but moderation has to come from you yourself. Like what you're posting on Twitter should be moderated by you. Ethics. Ethics is very gray, man. Ethics is something I think should be ingrained. Like ethics is something that should be taught to everyone. You don't want to spread false news.
right.
I agree with you. Like I know we have discussed this previously. Like I agree with you that there shouldn't be someone else telling you what you cannot say. But someone, when you're growing up in your schooling system or something, has to tell you, or your family values, what it is. Like legality and ethics are not both the same,
Right.
but they should work parallelly.
Yeah. Media channels, day by day, I'm losing faith in them. The only media that I follow is independent media.
Okay.
So independent
NPR?
media, I follow NPR, I follow ANI News.
Okay.
There is one called Scroll In, I think, on Instagram. There is Brut. It's in India and US. I believe that all of these are independent news channels.
Okay.
They don't have to take any funding from any political party, and they are not left or right, but they report exactly what's happening. So I think media houses should get back and kind of report what's happening.
I think it's a chicken and egg problem. Because, like you mentioned, Twitter has given access to everyone and anyone to post 24/7 about anything, and there are and millions and billions of people who are following every single important person in the world on Twitter. So, if media outlets have to counter that, they have to keep on, coming up with the breaking news.
Right.
So, like I said, it's chicken and egg. As long as Twitter keeps on doing it, they have to come up with breaking news. So like I said, ethics. It's very difficult, and I don't know how you will implement it. But at certain points, something has to give, and ethics have to take forefront. I have no idea how that's going to happen.
Anyways, let's end it.
Let's end it.
It was nice talking to you, and I hope that we do more of these in person. and share more of our views.
Yeah.
And I think this was kind of interesting, right?
Oh, I loved it. Follow him. I'm gonna look in the camera. This is the camera, right? Follow him on Instagram. So, what are you doing? Follow him. Follow him on Facebook, Spotify, like his podcast. Go to YouTube, like him. We are gonna make him success.
All right, thank you so much, man.
Cheers.
Thanks, Arjun.
Hey, come on in the camera.
Arjun, show your face.
Come here.
Thank you so much.